You guys,
Hello.
so we're back. We are headed back towards San Francisco, and this time we are driving. We're
Yes.
about 2 hours out of San Francisco. We just stopped at this delicious taco burrito place. It's like a little truck, and it's right by a gas station. We make it our tradition to stop every single time. So I've had 4 bean and cheese tacos.
You've not had 4 yet, 2.
Well, they came with 2 tortillas
2
each.
tortillas is still 2 tacos. So you go by tacos by the name by how many tortillas you don't have.
Yeah, because I made them into 4.
I just don't think that's
And I
that's
had
right.
half a Levain cookie.
I just don't think that's right.
Anyway,
But anyway.
the point is I can't breathe, but it was also really delicious. And the sweet and salty combo. Sometimes you just gotta get that gooey cheese with that nice, flavorful bean. And I just have to say, the way that people season their beans, it says a lot about you.
Yes.
Because I will find, Aaron and I were talking about this, there is a sort of there's a differentiation between a San Francisco burrito and an LA burrito. And obviously LA is known for its Mexican food. It's specifically known for its tacos. But I kind of feel like the way that they make their burritos, at least to the places where I've been we do go to a lot of like taco stands, so this makes sense. They sort of make the burritos similar to tacos. Like it feels like a lot of meat, very little rice, and it's kind of like a grilled burrito, which is delicious. But the style of burrito that I grew up with coming from San Francisco, it was more of like a full burrito where like rice and beans were really the star. So if you're a meat lover, I definitely say LA is the place to be. But for me, a lot of those taco spots don't season their beans well enough. And it really matters to me how well seasoned the beans are, how fresh the pico is, you know what I mean? And usually it's just like a sliver of avocado. It's not really any guac, so it just depends how flavorful it is. But this place that we go to, it's like in between San Francisco and LA. And I have to say, you guys, it hits every spot. Like it really, I don't know. I just love it. I feel like it's the perfect mix between an LA and SF burrito. And maybe it's because it's geographically in between the two. But it's like a little bit grilled. The beans are perfectly seasoned. But it's also, not too much filling where it's like a San Francisco burrito, in my opinion. And obviously, okay, La Taqueria, is that what it's called? The place that...
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like the famous Mission burrito. So whenever I say that San Francisco burritos come with a lot of rice, people kind of give me pushback and they're like, well, look at La Taqueria. Like, they're known...
That's what they talk about?
Yeah.
People push back with that.
This one person did.
Oh, okay.
I'm only basing this off of one person.
Well, that's fair.
That
That's
I met
fine.
once. I don't even remember that.
Well, I think that's okay. I was
But
just curious.
she was like, what are you talking about? Like, an SF burrito doesn't have rice in it. Like, that's what... And yes, it's a very famous Mission burrito. But most burritos in the Bay Area, I feel like stuff it with rice and beans. That's just how I grew up eating burritos.
And that's also how you like it.
And that's how I like it.
That's what you like. That's what you like, man.
That's
There's
what I
nothing
like,
wrong with that, man.
you
It's a
know?
little pussy delight.
Aaron has been saying P-word delight all afternoon because we were driving past Kettleman's Ranch. I don't know if any of you guys have been to Kettleman's Ranch, but it's kind
City?
of like a cute vibe.
Is it a city or a ranch?
Oh, Kettleman City. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was
That's
thinking
okay.
of Harris Ranch.
Well, you're also driving. You got a lot on your plate right now.
Yeah, so I'm like one-handing it while also going with the mic. But if you
Yeah.
guys have driven the I-5 from LA to SF or vice versa, you know that it's just a straight line smelling like cow shit. And also, you guys, I have to say, seeing those cows out there was really depressing for us.
Yeah, they're
It
very
also
sad
made me
looking.
feel like, is that In-N-Out burger once every 3 months worth it?
For
Yes,
what
it is.
reason? Yeah, I mean, yes.
Because they're definitely using those types of cows, do you think? Though
I don't
In-N-Out is
know.
kind of like health conscious. Like maybe they're...
Somewhat. Who knows?
Maybe they pay their workers well. I feel like they
They have respect? Was it?
I thought about working at In-N-Out, actually.
You did. You thought maybe that's a place of employment for you. The
So
pay
there's
is decent.
There's a lot of truck drivers right now, you guys.
What is happening?
And-
Do you need to pull over?
No.
Okay. Where are you going
I'm
with
having
this?
a cheese coma. But anyway, there's a lot of truck drivers, and just so you guys know, I've kind of like halted my job search. I've kept looking. Right now, I'm not going to say it because I'm too embarrassed about where my current life is at this moment in time. Anyway, there's a lot of truck drivers, and Aaron was like, God, it'd be so rough to like drive a huge truck like that. And we did see like a major crash on the side of the road.
Yes.
The front half of the truck looked like it was torched off. It was not good, you guys.
No, it was not.
And so
And there's some other shit going on right now.
there is with
What
a lot
is
of trucks
this?
and lights.
And there's a lot of and there's some ambulance. Did someone go off the road? What's the deal here?
I don't know.
I wish I
because
could show you as we rubberneck this accident.
Well, anyway, you guys, there was a lot of truck drivers, and Aaron's like, I can't imagine
Let me
living
slow
that
down
life,
a little.
driving a
What the hell is going on? Highway patrol. Oh, that does not look good.
No. Oh no.
Someone looks very upset.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no. Oh. That did not look good. That looked really bad. Are you okay? Do you press pause? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm not gonna cry.
No, that's fair.
That was really bad. That was a really bad crash.
That didn't look. I didn't see the crash, but I saw the person. Anyway.
That's what I meant. I didn't know if I wanted to tell the pod that, but there were several.
We're not
at
sure
least
what
two
we saw.
gurneys. I saw at least two gurneys.
We're not
being
quite sure what
lifted.
we saw. It's been a crazy day on the I-5. There's been we've witnessed quite a few things. One, I was on my phone, and then there was red lights behind me. I was like, "Oh my God, what the heck is this?" And it was Poe. It was Poe saying hi and to pull over, but then it just drove right past me. And Sophia was like, "How do you feel right now? Are you okay? You have your
Yeah.
mouth open."
No, I'm totally
couldn't tell
fine.
if-
I'm just like a lot of thoughts are going through my
Yeah,
head right
yeah.
now, and they're not coming out of my mouth.
No,
they
that's
should
fine.
be because we're podcasting.
That's okay.
Um,
We're also a visual podcast too.
we are a visual podcast, so honestly, you guys, we've thought about going audio, but
Audio only.
No, but like having options for Spotify
Yes,
and
we really should.
we should. But tell us if we actually should, if what you think, because I think my face adds a lot to it. I really do. Like my facial reactions are really half of the podcast, and Aaron's facial reactions, well, he quietly stares at me. Like, I think it really adds. I think our facial expressions really make or break the pod.
No, I mean I will agree. Like I think the video version is likely the best. Although when I listen to podcasts, it is usually in the background of whatever I'm doing.
I agree.
So it's nice for me to like check in with the tab and be like, oh my God, there's a visual thing. But
Sometimes I can literally listen to the same podcast over just to hear someone talking with me while I do things.
like
Is that
the
just
same
a
exact
symptom of
pod.
loneliness, though. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
done that
outed myself.
before. If it's like a fun one and I liked it, yeah, I'll do that again. I feel like that's just
Or
like
no. Okay,
I've done
it's
that.
not usually that extreme, but usually if I am listening to a podcast and let's say like I'm in a space where there's not a lot of Wi-Fi,
yeah,
like when I'm on a long walk or I'm in a spotty area while I'm driving,
yeah.
I'll listen to the podcast and sometimes it will replay the beginning. And I can't really skip forward because, like the Wi-Fi, but I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I listened to this part all the way through because I was kind of spaced out a little bit. So
Right,
I might
let's
as well
just-
just re-listen to it.
Let's
That's
just
kinda what I
re-listen.
mean.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that.
Anyway, you guys, the point is, I'm going back to the truck driver thing. I know I've been looming on this for a while, but we saw these truck drivers. Aaron was like, I couldn't live that life. And I was like, I've thought of it. I saw like a truck driver app on LinkedIn, and I was like, how bad could it be? Really, how bad could it be? I'm a decent driver. The issue is that I would have a terrible time changing lanes. I already freak out when I change lanes in this little compact Volkswagen, but I couldn't do that. And then Aaron told me, that they have simulators where they like practice changing lanes
Practice
and
the whole
test you.
they practice the whole shebang.
That makes sense. And they probably sit in there for hours, right?
I imagine. Well, some places have to go like forever. They have to go a long ways to get to their destination, like ground, like FedEx ground. There's those are just on the ground.
I don't even know, you guys. The point is, God dang.
What a day. Driving, am I right? Driving to the Bay, very different experience than the flight. What's your fave? Do you prefer the drive or do you prefer the flight? For me, I'm going to go ahead and say the flight. Not that I don't enjoy this time together, because I do.
I 100% prefer the flight.
Yeah.
But I will say I prefer the drive over an LAX flight. I will take a
Yeah,
drive over an
yeah.
LAX flight
I will
anytime.
agree with that.
Burbank
I would
flight,
agree with that.
way prefer. But I think the driving thing, it's a weird thing for me because like I get that itch like every 10 trips. Maybe every 5 trips. I get the itch to drive.
Yeah. Well, there is a thing like the convenience of like the night before. I feel like is less stressful because like, well, I can just figure it out tomorrow. There's no time crunch.
And
You can
it's
leave
not
on
that
your own
bad. It really
terms.
hasn't been that bad. Honestly, the only time that I'm kind of like icked by the drive is when I'm by myself.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And I just start to like space a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy to go spacey on these roads, I will say.
Yeah.
Just this straight shot, I'm spacing out and I'm not even driving.
Well, I will say the 101 is a lot prettier.
Definitely.
And maybe on the way back, we always say we'll do it, but we never do. But I actually do think we should.
Well, how much extra time? Like an extra hour or two?
It's like an extra hour and a half, maybe.
Hour and a half?
It's probably like 7 hours instead of 6.5.
Right.
Like, but when you do the I-5 like early in the morning, you can get there in 5.5.
If you just gun it.
If you gun it. But we usually do 6.5 because we're always rolling out of LA at like 1 p.m.
Yeah, we're rolling out. We're a little late to this drive typically.
I am someone who, if I have a flight, I normally, or if I have a travel day, drive, flight, whatever, I normally can't focus on anything else that day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know how people like,
Some people are jet setters though. They're jetting
They
around
are.
all the time.
they just know how to do it. And it takes the life out of me. It really does.
Yeah. No, I need a good like few day reset.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
know about you. I'm always curious, like, who's starting the businesses, you know, like in Modesto, which is where we're near, or
Are we
on the
near
highway
Modesto?
near Modesto. Like, who owns the Anderson's Pea Soup place?
Oh my God, my mom loves Anderson's pea soup.
Oh.
I ordered fish there once.
You've been to that
I ordered
place?
fish and steamed vegetables.
You've been to the place that we just passed by?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I've been to all these places, Aaron.
How
I'm a
many times have you
California
done
girl.
this drive?
Many times.
Many a times.
Like,
You guys were definitely driving. You guys are such a
Anytime-
driving American family.
we are a driving American family.
There's nothing.
Your family hates driving.
Are you guys Chevy? What kind of car do you guys drive? Why don't I know this? Volkswagen. You guys are
A
VW.
Volvo.
Volvo.
Volvo or Volkswagen?
Little pussy delight Volvo.
I am not liking that word.
My new
It really
catchphrase.
repulses me. And when you say it especially, like, I've never heard anyone say that word and been like, that was said correctly.
Right, yeah. I would agree, especially in a sexual context.
I don't think I've heard it in a sexual context.
Mm.
Thank God. That
Yeah.
would be horrendous. Have you ever said it in a sexual context?
I don't think
Not
so.
to me. But you don't know who else you've been saying pussy delight to, Aaron.
It's true.
I said it. Ew.
Ha 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 ha.
I do not like that.
Me neither.
What made you think of that? You definitely copied that from a podcast. That's not a real thing.
I literally swear in my life that is totally original. It's the only original thing I've ever done in my life.
That's true.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but sometimes I think you're like really smart, and then I realize that you just discovered ChatGPT before me.
Yep.
You are smart though. You are. Boom boom, we're changing lanes over here, you
Changing
guys.
lanes.
Boom boom.
I do hate it when the trucks, they kind of, sometimes, how does the radio work? Did you ever look into that when you were on your search? Or you didn't search into it, you just thought of it?
What search?
Of trucking.
Oh, no. No, I didn't look into it. I also almost like applied to write for like a motor company
Oh my.
where it was like a motor magazine, like one of those that my dad gets. And
so cute.
you had to like know
Magazines
about
are really cute. It's very cute that they do very masculine magazines. Like I feel like workout magazines, like gym
my dad.
magazines.
I used to try to buy him books, but the only thing that man will read is a magazine.
He'll flip through a mag.
And no, but he will sit down and like fully put on his little glasses, and he will read that magazine from cover to cover.
He'll flip through it, but he'll give it a read as well. Well, there used to be like kids magazines. Do you remember those? Did you ever get those? There was like a
We-
good kids one, but I can't remember the name for the frickin' life of
for
me.
like the teen ones that were like gossip magazines.
No, they weren't gossip.
because
They
I
were
wasn't allowed to
educational.
get those.
They were educational.
We would
Sophia.
get oh, you know those catalogs that you get where you can kind of are those sheep or cows?
I don't. These look like little guys. Yeah, they look small.
They're really small
They
and they're
look.
really thin.
Yeah, they look very sickly thin. Those were sheep, though. These are sheep. They look really small. Some look like babies.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Lately,
Some look
I've
like
been feeling like we're coming close to an apocalypse.
So these sheep look like they're just babies.
And I've really been trying to stay positive,
World
but
of
with
mamas.
the bodies that I've seen being taken out of these cars
Yeah,
today,
why have we seen multiple
half of a burnt
bodies?
truck and all those crowded cows stuffed with hormones, and then these cows that are sickly, or lamb or sheep, or we don't even know what type of animal they are. We just know they're sickly looking.
Yeah, we just know they didn't
I
look
just
too
feel
good.
like an apocalypse may be near. And
Be
I'm
on the
trying to be
way.
positive. Like every single day I tell myself, I get up and I'm like, Sophia. And you know, I was saying this to Aaron, you guys, because I'm going to loop it back to the industry, but honestly, there's a lot more shit going on. I'm just going to pivot to something a little bit more trivial
Yeah,
so
give
that
a
we feel safe here
Give a pip.
before we get into the dark stuff. But
Oh.
anyway, like for example with the industry, okay? I hear, and I haven't been getting a lot of auditions this past month really. I haven't been getting a lot of auditions, and it's really been discouraging me because usually I feel like even though I'm not booking anything, I'm still working toward that with auditioning at least once a week, 1 to 3 times hopefully on a good week. But lately I just have, what are you doing on your phone?
I'm connecting to the camera. Keep going.
No, I just don't like it when you're not paying attention.
I am paying attention.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh my freaking god.
What was I saying?
You're talking about
Aaron,
something.
you don't even know what I was talking about. You weren't listening.
I had to load up this. Anyway, we'll keep going.
I don't even know what I was talking about. I actually genuinely don't remember because I get distracted by your phone because I'm driving and I don't want to hit anything, Aaron.
You don't have to.
Anyway, the point is, I'll take it back to the industry.
Yeah. Loop it back, girl.
So I'll loop it back.
Because this truck in front of us
I-
is hiring according to their QR code.
Please stop.
Okay, industry.
I was talking to my friend and I was like, yeah, people say it's really slow right now. And she's like, when is it not slow? Actually, though, when was the last time that you heard that any industry was booming? Maybe tech,
Rockefeller.
like a couple years ago.
Eisenhower.
I feel like nothing is
Polk.
what are you saying? I'm getting angry.
Yeah, I see that.
I just feel like you're being a little bit of a DICK right now.
Oh. You've I've done it again, guys. I've taken Sophia off the edge to vow of silence. It's rare. It's happened maybe 4 or 5 times in podcast history, but we've made it. Damn, these roads on the 5 are kind of tricky. Anyway, you guys, well, now that Sophia's taken her vow of silence, let me just adjust this really quick. Now that Sophia's quiet.
I just don't like it when we're not in unison. We're not vibing. We're just
we
like,
are.
no, we're not
Talking
vibing.
about the indie street.
What? What are you actually saying? What are you genuinely saying?
Jeez. Oh my god. Loop it back, girl.
I don't know what to loop it back to. I don't know what to say because usually you riff off of me, but you're not. Now we're going to have to cut this entire section out.
No, we don't.
Yes. People don't like it when we fight on the pod. You told me that yourself.
Wait, who told you that?
You said people don't like it when we cry and fight on the pod. And we all know that no one else has cried on this pod except for me. So I think that they don't like it when we show emotion. So I'll just be you.
Okay, be me. This is your impression of me. Not speaking. Looking forward. That's it. That's all you have to say? Wow. That's crazy, man. So, okay, let me be Sophia. I'm just kidding.
No, go for it.
Nah, I don't want to do that
I
right
wanna
now.
hear it.
Nah, I don't want to do
We
that.
all want to hear your Sophia impression. Aaron.
Nope, I don't want to do that. But you were going on about industry.
No,
It's slow right now. It's always slow.
I don't even think it's just about the industry. I honestly, you guys, I'm going to be real with you. I have had a really, and not just me, my whole family, and also everyone that I kind of run into, I feel like it's been a really, really difficult year. I know that I keep saying this. The truth is, you guys, I'm driving home for a funeral. and I'm very, very, very sad. So maybe you will get more details on this later, but that is the family emergency that I have been dealing with for the past 9 months. And yeah, it was kind of like a known thing that would happen. And now I'm driving home to go to a funeral. And I feel like all life has kind of stopped. I
Yeah.
feel in limbo. I feel, and I'm trying to like give credit to the fact that I'm grieving, but I sort of feel like Aaron's not paying attention to me.
I am paying attention to you.
I feel self-conscious.
You're grieving. It's okay.
Just
This is
look
a
it up
really
on my
hard
phone.
time.
Just look it up on
What,
my
the
phone.
directions?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because I want the directions when I drive.
Okay.
I like to have them there. They make me feel
I think
safe.
that's totally fair. It's like you always know where you're going. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Anyway, I don't really have to talk about that if you don't think it's interesting.
I think you definitely should talk about it. I just didn't want to press you on it on the pod, but
No, I want to talk about it on the pod. I decided today.
okay.
Because I'm probably it's one thing to not talk about. I think it's one thing to not I'm just going to talk about it, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's one thing to not talk about something when someone is sick and like actively battling something because I don't know, there's this weird element of like not wanting to take someone's story and not wanting to really talk
Well,
about it when you're in the middle of it, because
Yeah.
also like you have hope and you're processing it as it's happening, and it's this weird like you're kind of just always in action. And
Well, you're dealing with it, so like to put it, I think that's right.
Yeah, but basically, I'm just going to say kind of the whole thing, and I'm just going to talk about my grief because this is the kind of podcast that it is. And I think if you watch this far into the podcast, then you are a person who cares about us and who's interested in our lives. And I think that this might help other people by talking about this because I think that a lot of people deal with loss. That is a very normal part of life, even though it is a tragic part of life. So basically, my youngest cousin, was diagnosed with DIPG, which is a brain tumor that is it's either in your brain or spine, and because of its location, it cannot be removed, and it's rapid growing. So once you are diagnosed, you can try to go on steroids, you can try to do chemo, but there is no cure. It usually will sometimes prolong someone's life. But even people who have survived it, they really have only survived up to 2 years, and then they've died soon after. Or it was like there was one adult being like a 20-year-old who survived, and I believe that the tumor was located near his spine or a different place on his head, so it was able to be removed. But that's like the only person that's ever survived. And so basically, I think it is a death sentence when you get this diagnosis. And she lived 9 months from being diagnosed. And that's why I've been going back to San Francisco so often. And this is also kind of like the first time I've really talked about this at length because I don't know, it feels weird to talk about especially when you're talking about it with other people who care about you, because you're like, it's kind of like when you talk about grief, when a baby falls and then everyone stares at the baby and then the baby starts to cry because everyone's like, oh, you're okay. That's kind of how I feel when I talk about it with other people. So it's actually kind of helping me to be able to drive on the I-5 and just talk about it into my microphone to my podcast, because I know that, well, I don't really know you guys face to face, so it feels a little bit less scary. But yeah, I was going home every single month and I would just sit with her, and because it is a brain tumor, it makes it so that you can't really move or speak or walk. And so slowly her body, started to decline. And I guess it was a weird waiting period because we knew that she was going to pass and she was in the hospital. And in a weird way, then you start to move on to the grieving chapter once it happens. But I feel like the first time I've definitely, like, when I was home and when I was seeing her more often, I was able to grieve it more.
Being with her.
Like, being with her, there were more moments where I felt like I just felt more. But then when I came back to LA, and I left because she was sort of at a point where she just wanted her mom. She wasn't even really recognizing that I was there anymore. So I thought it was time to come back, and it was toward the very late stages of her illness. So I kind of like didn't process anything for a week. And then I felt really like stuck and in limbo. And I guess like everything in my life right now, as you guys, and obviously, this is affecting my family heavily. Obviously, I am not her parents. I am not her brother. But I'm speaking from my perspective because that's the only perspective that I can speak to. And because that's why you guys watch this podcast. So, but from the podcast that we've recorded, you've kind of noticed that I've been a little bit just feeling stuck in life, and I quit my job and I haven't gotten another job. I recently took on an unpaid internship, which was the thing that I was kind of embarrassed to tell you guys about earlier. And I'm 25 and I'm taking on an unpaid internship for copywriting because I can't get a job. Even though it's only been a month of applying, so Erin tells me it's not that bad. And I know that the job market is bad right now, but like I said, it's like everyone is saying that everything is bad right now. And I haven't been getting auditions, and the things that I have gotten close to or really wanted, I haven't heard back from. And so I feel extremely stuck. I feel in a way that maybe life is telling me that I need to like pause and actually grieve what's going on, because I feel like I want to go. I want to fix my life drastically, but nothing seems to be coming together. Everything feels kind of brutal and like hit after hit. In my family, in my personal life, not in my love life. I mean, Erin and I have been doing really well, but everything feels like stagnant. And I keep asking myself why. I'm like, one thing should be going really well, right? And I think that sometimes I'm taking for granted, like I do. After my cousin's passing, so many people have reached out to me. So many people have been there to support my family. I'm really grateful for how close my siblings and I are. They're my people. My parents are incredible. And I don't know. I think that that's a rare thing. So I need to, first of all, look, I have that. I've always had that. And maybe I'm taking it for granted. And I have a wonderful relationship with someone who supports me and loves me and sits with me and eats tacos with me. What more could you ask for? What more could you ask for in a guy that records podcasts with you and calls himself Little Guy for the people? So I do feel immensely grateful. I also feel like I was sitting with Erin last night and just breaking down. And I do feel like this weird fear that I'm going to lose everyone around me. Like, because it's such a freak thing that happened. Like, that's 1 in a million diagnosis.
Right.
And it happened so quickly. So I do have this like irrational fear that I'm going to lose everyone around me. And I think it's also kind of strengthened the feeling, but also weakened it, of like the do I move home to San Francisco debate. Like, when something serious like this happens in your life, it kind of forces you to examine all of the problems that were already there. It's like putting a magnifying glass into all of your shit. So it does make me think, like, I have been going back and forth. I haven't really been present in LA for 6 months, I'd say.
Right.
But also, was I really present before that? I don't know. Was I getting there? We could say I was getting there, but maybe I would have gone back home for a different reason. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I do. I think about, like, as time passes us by and as we've chosen this career, because obviously it's much more than this career, but I'm talking about it because that's what this podcast is about. And I want to look back on this and I want to see, like, this is where you were. You were driving home to San Francisco and you were going to your cousin's funeral and you were a mess in all aspects of your life. But hopefully at the end of this, you say to Big Sophia looks back at Little Sophia, which is me right now, even though I'm not that little, but you know, I would say, like,
MILF Sophia.
MILF Sophia looks back at this and she's like, you made it, you did it, you pushed through and you came out a stronger, more confident person, and everything worked out. Everything that you were worried about, it worked out. And then there is also this aspect of me that's kind of like, fuck it, you know, that's kind of like, nothing is in our control at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I might as well just exist and be grateful for the little things that come into life, you know, for the little opportunities, for the day-to-day joy, because I really did take that for granted.
Right.
And so I guess I'm at this weird place in grief and in examining my own life, because I think I'm focusing on my life to not think about the actual pain that I'm going through. Where I'm kind of like, am I going... I need to complete all of these things. I need to accomplish all these things before I do this, before I do this, before I do this. But then there's also a part of me that's kind of like, you know, just live life. Like, actually live life, because it is so short.
Yeah.
My cousin was 7 years old when she passed away. And you imagine a whole life with that person. You really do. And you think, like, oh, you know, times... I don't regret anything, but I do think, like, oh, there are times when I went home that I could have spent with her. I wish that I, like, did my makeup with her more, or baked cookies with her more, or just did little things like went to a museum, or I wish she saw my apartment, like little things like that.
Yeah, you wish that she had the experiences that she deserved.
Yeah.
And that everyone deserves.
Yeah, and so it makes you feel grateful for the experiences you have, but it also makes you feel so scattered. I guess I'm, like, really in draft. As I do speak on this podcast, I'm totally speaking in draft. This is, again, the first time that I've ever really processed this out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really helping me, so thank you guys for listening. But yeah, that is why I've been feeling so stuck, I think, because I'm grieving, and for a really long time we were just waiting for her to be free, because when you have that illness, you are literally stuck in your body.
Right.
And she was so full of life. She really loved, like, running around and playing, and she's such a girly girl. She loved doing her makeup, and I went to her ballet recital, and she really enjoyed life, and you could tell that she was trapped in her body toward the end. So I guess in a way that gives me peace.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a common thing. I obviously was not her caregiver, but I was there with her a lot. And I think that a lot of caregivers sort of feel that way, where it's like this weird waiting period, and you've sort of accepted that you're going to lose them. It doesn't make the loss any less painful, but
Well, when you accept that point and you know that point's coming, there's no going back, right?
Yeah.
So all you can hope is that whomever it is, obviously this is an especially awful thing, but whomever it might be, whether they're like a grandparent or a parent or something like that, that they're comfortable and they feel safe, and that they feel the love of their family, right? I mean, that is the best case scenario. And I would say that in this case, um, she did feel that, you know?
Sorry, guys, the camera died. So Aaron and I are back. The sun is very slowly setting. But yeah, anyway, I just felt like I don't know about owed it to you, but I did. I kind of owed it to just speak on what I was actually going through, because I didn't also want you to think that I was just Debbie Downer all the time, and that I wanted to express more for myself a reason why I think I'm feeling stuck, because it's not just everything in my family. It feels like everything in my life feels stuck, but I do think that that's for a reason, because I need to move through my grief, and I need to take this time, because the truth is I may never get this time back again. When's the next time that I won't have a job? When's the next time that I won't have a full life outside of San Francisco to really be there for my family? And I think maybe that's why I haven't had the career that I really wanted, or haven't fully established myself in LA, because maybe I was supposed to be there for this time. And it's kind of hard to work through thinking about why things happen. It makes you question everything that you know.
Right.
And I find that my family, especially because we are, I don't know about religious, but we're spiritual people. So I find that they're really searching for a why.
Yeah, you think? I mean, of course, I can imagine.
I do. I think my immediate family I'm speaking on.
Right.
I don't know how my aunt and uncle feel,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely my immediate family, they're searching for a why. And there is like this belief that when someone is born, their destiny is kind of already chosen. So it's like they were already supposed to only live until that age for a reason. I don't know how I fully feel about that. Like,
Yeah.
there is some comfort in it, but obviously you're questioning so many things when you lose someone. So it does make it feel less in your control, I guess, which is somewhat comforting, because you know that there's obviously nothing that anyone could have done.
Yeah.
But I guess in times like these, and I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm supposed to say the eulogy on Friday, and I have really been procrastinating writing it, because I feel like when I do, it will feel like some sort of closure that I'm not ready for.
Right.
But I think that during these times, because also I will be saying the eulogy in a church where I baptized her because I'm her godmother, you kind of, you really question your faith, if you have faith, if you believe in God, if you believe in anything really, even if you believe in like humanity, you really question everything. But
Yeah.
also, which I think has like made me resistant to like my family has really like leaned on going to church to kind of heal, and praying to heal.
Right.
And I do feel like not weird doing that, but I guess
No,
I
I'd
just,
be in the same boat as you, I think.
yeah, I guess. But you also do need faith during this time, because
Right.
when I think about like, when I think about her in heaven, like happy, like running free, and even people say, you know, she's free now that don't believe in God or whatever.
Right.
But
Well, there's also a
there
state
is,
of. Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is a comfort in that, and there is a comfort in thinking like everything was predestined, and that in the afterlife she's painless. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you want to believe. And I think the reason why I haven't been like clinging to that idea of my faith in God, because I do lean on that at other times of distress in my life, is because I feel like it's an easy way out in a way. Like, I feel like I'm cheating grief by
Right.
feeling that, even though I know it's not true. I know that it's really important to feel those things, because it gives living people comfort. and it makes us feel like she's safe, you know?
Right.
Um, I'd way rather believe that than anything else. But I guess it just sometimes feels like it's taking away how painful it is, you know?
The super spiritual aspect of it is taking away the
Sometimes, like
grief.
for me personally, but I also think
Well, I don't think that that's like there's no justification for what has happened, right?
no,
And
and I
that's
think you're
not
constantly like not looking for justification, but looking for a why.
right.
And if you
And what
believe,
I mean is I think
yeah,
those are two different things. And
yes,
that you could find something that gives you comfort because I think that that can be your truth or the truth of, of whatever the family believes or your family believes or you believe. All these things can be true. And that's part of the grief process is understanding what those things mean to you. Cuz I mean, um like losing someone is this is obviously just an extremely horrible tragic thing, but at some point in everyone's life you're going to lose somebody,
yeah,
and that question you never really ask yourself until that moment happens. Now in a normal world, ideally it goes in some kind of order of grandparents, parents, that sort of thing, and that's more what I'm talking about here. But those kind of deeper questions about what you believe in, whether it's a god or a spiritual element of being, I don't really think you confront it as much until the absence of someone, presumably in your family or close to you. But what I'm saying is, I think that that's a very normal thing that you're feeling right now, and that is the grief process. It's not feeling bad about it. That's not grief.
did you
You know,
when
grief is just this whole process. It's
yeah,
stages, and it leads all the way, and parts of it never go away, and you just live with it.
yeah,
Um, so there shouldn't be a feeling of, oh, I'm not feeling sad right now. Feeling nothing is part of grief, and that's arguably an even worse feeling. It's a stuck feeling.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, and for a long time I think I felt numb. And when I was home, I felt really useful. Like I felt like, okay, I can cook meals, I can sit with her, I can be with her brother, I can sit with my grandparents, which is also awful because, um, well, it's a beautiful thing. I've really never experienced a tragedy,
no,
not even close
I
to
mean
this,
this is
ever in my life. Though
no,
I've really never experienced
me
a
neither. I mean,
loss.
jeez.
But you've lost your
But
grandparents.
but there's an order. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
of course. But what I'm saying is like,
this
what
is
it is to feel a loss, even if
of a person, of course.
of a person. But what I'm saying is like, this is the first loss that I've ever
Right.
experienced, that my family has ever experienced, because both sides of my grandparents are alive.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
I've really never experienced, and I think we were raised similarly, where our grandparents were really extensions of our immediate family. We were
Yeah, definitely.
raised with, I was raised and you were raised with our grandparents really there the whole time.
Right.
Um, and there's kind of a communal aspect to the way we were raised. Like my cousins feel like my siblings,
Mm-hmm.
my aunts and uncles, they are all there, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so it doesn't feel like a distant relative.
Right.
But, you know, I guess you expect that order. And so I think what the awful thing is that my grandparents are having to see this.
I mean, that is unimaginable.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is just, you know.
But still, I don't know. I don't know. This is the only reference I have for what loss feels like.
Right. I would imagine that it would just be a lot of shock. Because, I mean, this is just, obviously you had known that there was a timeline in place, but
Yeah.
I couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why it's all so confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but Yeah, I guess I've just I focus on the stuck feeling. I focus on no opportunities. I focus on no career because I don't want to have to sit with the fact that I've lost someone this young.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess my life is telling me to sit and actually examine what's going on because I think that that's why other things aren't moving forward.
Well, I think also we think very pragmatically about progression and seeing sort of a tangible outcome. Otherwise, we need to make a change. You know what I'm saying? We need to be either feeling something or doing something constantly. Otherwise, there's no progress. And I think that that kind of obfuscates intention to a certain degree, where it's like, I don't know what I need to be doing. I don't know why I need to do something, but I need to do something. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because nothing is happening. But I
Yeah.
think that that act of like things aren't happening or things are going poorly, I think that that does a couple things. One, it recontextualizes why you're doing something. So it forces you to ask yourself that question. Um, and yeah, I think that um, the way that you've been dealing with all of this from kind of an outsider perspective is, I mean, I think you've been incredibly strong for your family, but as someone watching, I think you've also handled this in a very healthy way too. Um, like I don't see anything in terms of what you're feeling or the way that you're articulating this is out of the ordinary at all. In fact, I think you're really handling this very well. Um,
Except for last night, you guys. Last night, I just like
but that's
literally
a part
cried
of it.
myself to sleep in
But
Aaron's
that's a part
arms.
of it. I mean, that was the first time I think you had that reaction,
Yeah.
right? To that degree. And I feel like, you know, from a personal experience, like when you lose someone, I think, and if you hadn't before, we kind of think of it as this like a very emotional experience of getting the call, and then it's like this very sad, you know. But
Yeah, but you feel kind of numb when you first hear
yeah,
it.
it's like because it's just words that you're hearing. You don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what
Well,
it
I think
means.
that the reason why yesterday was so hard is because I know that I'm going to drive home and I'm not going to see her.
Yes.
And every time that I've been home this past 9 months, I've seen her
Right.
and I've gone home for her.
Yes.
And I am going home for her,
Right.
but I'm not going to see her.
Mm-hmm.
And God, like when you think about it like that, it just wrecks you, you know?
Yeah.
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 Um, I don't know. So I guess everything does feel like it's in a weird place. But not just in my life. I think a lot of people are going through hard times right now. I guess that's why I do feel like it's going to be an apocalypse or something. It just feels all so fucked up.
Yeah.
It really does. And instead of like, I do feel angry a lot, but I feel more like relaxed. I don't know how to describe it. Like
Like in this new phase.
I'm just letting things roll over me.
Right. Well, I think like going back to what you were saying before of this contextualizes choices and life in a different way, and I think you're experiencing that.
Well, I think it's one thing like I clearly view my choice in life to be an actor, right?
Right.
Because this is ultimately what this podcast is about and what we're going to look back on. I think of my choice of being an actor sometimes as a choice of being away from my family and from actively not choosing family. And I know that that's like trauma that's been put on me.
I would agree.
But it does feel like, okay, if I'm an actress, like I can't get married and have kids. I might not be able to if it doesn't happen soon enough. And it is hard. Like I've been thinking a lot about having kids lately. Like it's a weird, oh look, it's a rainbow
Where?
right there.
Oh yeah,
That's nice.
that's pretty.
Better than the car crash. Am I right,
Better
you
than
guys?
the freaking gurney, bro.
Um,
Praying.
Anyway, I guess, what was I saying about acting?
La, 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 la.
That, yeah, I don't know. Well, okay, the hard thing is like, I'm actively choosing this career, and like I've submitted auditions, and I've done like one movie, and I've, been looking on Actors Access for things. Like, did I tell them the story about the audition I had that was really bad? I think I did.
No, I don't think you did, man.
I feel like I did.
I really don't think you did. I think you bottled that one up deep.
No, I think I told them last podcast.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm just
that.
gonna really quickly blaze through it.
Just do a blaze. I think it's worth repeating.
When I went home, because I don't have a therapist, I was using ChatGPT as my therapist, which I know is probably unhealthy. But anyway,
I don't think so. I feel like
no, it was healthy in a way, because I felt like I didn't want to dump too much on my family and Aaron.
Right.
And I just kind of like wanted to see what an outside perspective
I'd sometimes
would
come
say.
into the room and she'd be on the floor on her iPad, and I could see the little dot going across the screen. I'd be like, okay.
I've just needed a lot of support this month, you guys.
That's fair.
So, I was talking to Chatty, and I was like, I really feel stuck. Like, I really feel like my career's not moving forward, and I don't know what to do, because I know deep down, you guys, and I know this might sound delusional to some of you, I do believe that I'm good enough, because I'm not the type of person, all right, that would continue something that I was bad at. I never played sports because I always knew I was going to be bad. Let me just start there. I was a decent dancer, but I was not even a decent dancer. I was okay. The reason I was kept with it was because of the performing aspect. I loved dance. I stopped because I knew I was not good enough to pursue it professionally. I feel like I judge myself really accurately. Like, I know I'm not going to go be a singer or a pop star, even though I do like performing, but I know that my skill is acting, and I really do believe that I can make it one day. I do believe that I have the talent, and sometimes I see people on screen, you guys, where I'm like, why the hell are they a professional actor and making a ton of money doing that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Not to throw shade, but
no shade.
anyway, no, I think okay. So anyway, ChatGPT was like, you need to start acting again. You need to go on Actors Access or Backstage and apply to stuff like every day. So I was like taking an hour out of my day after, this is also where the Annie Baker situation came in, where I dropped off my resume that I talked about last time.
Right.
Which I never ended up dropping off. But anyway, I did find the email of the theater, though, by the way, you guys. So just want to let you know about that.
We secured something. There was an update.
We secured something, but they didn't respond.
We'll keep it.
They didn't respond. So we're not going to jinx anything.
Yet.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, we'll start making some threats, okay?
Aaron. So I applied to this Actors Access thing, and it's like $125 for like 3 days of shooting. And I'm like, okay, at least it's not unpaid. So I apply to it, and it seems like a decent concept. Like, it's kind of like, it's called Kiss, and it's about this guy and this girl who like meet per chance and like have this night where they like hook up, kind of, but it seems romantic. Like, it doesn't just seem like a hoey hookup, for lack of better words. And, they're kind of both a little bit drunk, like, whatever. And he has this weird, like, thing where he likes to make out with her nose. And she's, like, icked by that. I didn't really understand that it was him, because when I got the side, she was talking about another guy. So I thought they were just, like, talking about their weird stories and, like, kind of falling in love. And a lot of it was improv. And I'm sorry, but when a script is mostly improv, unless it's a drop-dead hilarious comedy and it's like specifically tied to directors who are famous for doing comedy improv, it's usually a red fucking flag. I don't want to have to do dramatic improv. That just, to me, it means that you're lazy and you don't want to write the script.
That's true.
So, whatever. I was doing it. I get a call back to go to a park. So...
It's not a great sign either.
But I think about it. I'm like, do I really want to drive an hour to go to a park? But I wasn't getting any auditions, you guys. And I was like, I need to keep showing up for myself as an actress. I need to remind myself what I'm really here for, what I'm doing. why I'm away from my family. A lot of guilt, a lot of stuff coming in. And I'm like, you know what? At least it's not in a hotel room. At least it's not like in
That
someone's
is
house.
true. I did think about that. I was like, well, it is
It's an
in a
open
public
place.
park.
So we thought about that, and I was like,
So-
it'll be fine. It's in a park. So I go, I sit down, I see the girl who is the production. She's producing it, and she found the listing off of eBay. And
What?
yeah, like
eBay?
eBay or something like
Craigslist,
that.
probably.
Craigslist. I'm
It was
sorry.
on Craigslist
It
she
was on
found it?
Craigslist, yeah.
Jesus
She found the
Christ! I thought
listing-
they made that like illegal, like
Yeah.
meetings.
She found the listing off of Craigslist.
Oh,
She moved
Poor girl.
to LA a month ago to try to follow producing
Oh,
from
it's
Texas.
gonna make me cry now. I didn't know
And
that. I didn't know it was Craigslist.
She was like married a year, and she seemed like she was my age, probably. So I just felt a lot of like. I remember being in that position. Let me just put it that way, and
Yeah.
I felt sad for her. And I was
Ah,
sitting
this
there, and
made me
another
sad.
girl at the audition, she was, sitting near us, and she was talking about how she drove 6 hours to get to that audition.
Oh my god.
And she's like, "Oh, who did you drive with?" She was like, "I drove with my mom."
Oh my
And she was like,
god.
"Oh, I would have driven by myself, but I just had a seizure recently. So the doctor didn't clear me for driving." And she was there at this audition, and I thought to myself, you know what?
Hope she gets it.
I was like, I hope for her sake, actually, she doesn't get it, because let me continue
Well,
the story.
yes.
So I was like, you know what? I felt like I was taking like 5 years back and looking at like little Sophia again and being like, you don't have to do this. This is not going to make you an actor. It's okay that you're unemployed, Soph. It's okay. And so then I
Yeah.
asked the director, because I had a hunch. I was like, so did they cast the male lead already? And I already knew what was going to come out of her mouth. She was like, actually, the blah, 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 the director, he wrote, direct, and is starring in it.
Classic move right there.
And there is a sex scene in there. No full
Classic.
nudity, but it is only $125 for 3 days for a sex scene with an older guy who is not attractive. Not that that matters,
But there's a clear intention there.
but when
From-
you don't tip good advice,
Yeah.
never write yourself a sex scene. Ever.
No.
Ever. Never write yourself a sex scene. I don't care if you are like the biggest director in Hollywood. Have someone else write the sex scene for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Or say, is this necessary? Ask a close friend if it's necessary. Never, ever write a sex scene for yourself. It's
yeah.
disgusting.
Yes.
It's disgusting. So I knew immediately. I was like, I'm not going to go in there. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it if I get it. Which I never heard back about it. And honestly, that's a great thing.
Yes.
So I go, and it's this guy, and he has like stringy hair, like yellow teeth. Like, he just looks like he's almost like, he's so excited, like buzzing. He's like, just really seems like a little bit of a crazy
character.
guy. A character for sure. And so we start acting. I am like clenching my fists, you guys, this entire time. I had on the exact top that I'm wearing now, actually, and like a green sweater.
Here's a little pause. When you see Sophia with a clenched fist, that's how I know
That's how you know.
I'm in trouble.
So I wrapped my entire body tightly in this sweater because I was like, I don't want one piece of fucking skin showing during this entire, you
Yeah.
feel that way. And so we start doing the scene, and he's explaining it to me. And you can already
That's
kind of
good.
tell that the crew is a little bit annoyed with him. Like, they're kind of like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, if, the auditions wouldn't take so long if he didn't talk about the explanation for twice as long as the time they're auditioning.
Right.
And so I could already tell the crew found him on Craigslist, not liking it. This seems like a bad vibe. But I'm like, I'm a woman of my word. My mother taught me to stick to commitments. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to leave.
Right. Well, you were already there talking to people, so it would have been weird to leave.
It would have been rude to leave. So
Or not even rude, just uncomfortable for you too.
Yeah, and not really, but I decided to carry through.
Oh well, good for you then.
And so he tells me, this is based on a true story. And I was like, fuck. And
Of
he's
him?
like, yeah. So he's like, one time I was really young and I was drunk driving. Ha ha ha. And
Classic.
I laughed because I laugh when I'm nervous. I laugh when people tell me tragic news. It's awful. And I start laughing. And he's like, see, you think that's funny. A lot of people have had different reactions.
What the?
I'm like, yeah. So then he tells me that one time he was drunk driving and he pulled over next to this woman who was also in her car. They were at a stoplight and he's like, hey, you're cute. And he said it like that too. And she rolled down her window and was like, follow me. And so he followed her in his car. And then he said that he stopped the car and parked in front of her so that the cars were so close, and he said, I quote, so that she couldn't get out of her car.
What?
And so I'm thinking they're being like, this is sounding way sketchier than the log line.
Yes.
And he says, like, yeah, and then she was talking and she was like wasted out of her mind.
What?
She was also driving, and I'm like, this just doesn't feel safe.
I don't believe this story.
I know.
There is no way this happened.
So then
He is a liar.
she was like kind of flirting with him through the window, and he's like, this happened all through real time, that they were flirting through the window.
For real time?
And then he jumps from
Did he look
The
like a leaper? Did he look like he leaps? He said he jumped from where? Continue.
He jumped from the seat in his car into her car, basically, and then she ended
Is
up
he a gymnast?
on his lap. And he's like, it sounds like it was messy, but it was really smooth. He actually clarified that part for me.
He clarified that it was a smooth interaction.
He clarified that he was smooth. I'm
Oh.
gagging. And then he tells me that they proceeded to like have sex, basically.
Right.
Which I'm deeply worried about
So
this
he-
imaginary woman.
He made up a story where he pulls over and gets some smooth pussy delight. And then he
so then
funded
he's like,
a movie
and then
where
he's
he
like,
could
okay,
tell
so
people
now we're
that.
gonna improv the moment
Oh my god.
where right before I jump through the window. And Aaron,
what did
my
he
face
say?
doesn't lie. The camera, I think the reason I didn't get the role, honestly,
I would love. Can I just say something? I will pay maybe $500 to get that tape. I would pay maybe $500. In fact, I'm gonna reach out.
Please don't reach out, please.
I
I think the
I kind of want it in this
reason-
podcast.
The reason I didn't.
Can you
get-
ask for it?
No, I don't
Please.
want to speak to him again.
I will do it.
I think that the reason why I didn't get this role is because I was looking at the camera like it was a fucking ransom video.
I mean, it kind of was at that point.
I was not well. And I'm like, I've never clenched my jaw so tightly in my life. And so I do the audition. He's like, he's going on for a while. It's all improv.
Right, and he's
Terrible.
What is he saying?
He's like, and so he was also acting like this. He was like, ooh, you have like really pretty eyes. Like that.
Oh
Like, I
my
wish I was
God.
exaggerating. I'm actually embarrassed that I had to do that for the camera right now, but that's actually how he is acting. And I thought to myself, and I'm going to be fucking mean. I'm going to be mean for a little bit.
You're
I
allowed
thought
to be
it
mean
should
to
be
this man.
illegal
Yes.
for some people to make films. It
Yes.
should be fucking illegal.
Yes.
This is a hard life already, and this is making it 20 times harder.
Yes.
And a girl just drove here who had a fucking seizure a couple days before.
You're doing that to her.
That's how, and that's why I get upset. That's why I also got upset. I took the unpaid internship that had nothing to do with acting. It was a copywriting internship, and I need the experience anyway, so whatever. I reasoned with ChatGPT, or Aaron did, to
ChatGPT gave
come
you the
there.
advice. Yeah.
But I think to myself, I'm like, God, like, we work our ass off and whatever. There are times where I'm not working my ass off, but I work hard every single day to try to achieve something, and 90% of the stuff is unpaid, and I'm already going through auditions every day that are unpaid. And I'm not saying that auditions should be paid, but what I am saying is that I've done the amount of money you make does not equate how hard you work.
No.
Because I have been chasing this for a long time, whatever, 3 years. I know some people have been doing it for 10, okay? But in that moment, in that audition, I was like, they're paying people nothing to do this. And
Well, this guy
young
put out a
actresses are desperate just to be seen on film.
Oh my god.
And I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, if you can make something better yourself, which is honestly, you guys, 90% of the stuff that I see out there, I genuinely feel like we could make it just as good or better. And I could have more of a developed character, or a character that's not just like sex on a stick.
Right.
And I walked away and I felt totally defeated. I came home. I couldn't talk to Aaron for like
She needed a sec.
hour.
Yeah. That's okay. That's well deserved of some you time, you know?
And I was kind of just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I stopped talking to ChatGPT after that because I just felt that she
You
really
little
misled
break.
me.
She did glaze you for that
She
one.
really misled me. And she's like, keep sussing it out. Keep applying. Like, and I don't know. I don't think ChatGPT knows my level. Like, I'm not just, I don't know. I'm a go-getter, you guys. Like, I think that I'm decent. I'm
Yeah.
trained. I spent money on a 4-year education. I'm not going to go sit in a park. And then he asked me, he's like, you were really good at that. Like, have you done that before? Like,
What?
yeah, have you done that before? I'm
Done
like,
what?
I'm fucking auditioning as an actress. Yes, I've acted before.
Wait, have you acted before?
I think he meant like improv. Dramatic
Oh
improv.
my
But I
God.
was like,
Oh my God.
I literally was just like, yes, I'm trained. And I walked away.
Good for you, girl. Good for you. I cannot believe that this man is he one of the producers? He must be funding this money, because who would fund this
He
certain
must be
piece of
funding
shit?
it.
He's funding a movie where he's not even getting. He is telling people about his pussy delight that he is making up.
It's a lie.
It's
It's a
imaginary.
pussy lie.
It's a lie, and he's made it up, and it's not real. I think you should be put on a list.
Me?
No, not you, him. He should be put on on a registry.
I don't know. But then I kind of realized like anyone can post anything on Actors Access, and maybe I shouldn't be following that either. But the auditions have been a little bit slow, and when that happens, I start to spiral.
That's fair.
And I don't have a job right now. So I feel, and it's not like I'm not applying every single day. I do feel a little bit helpless. I did think that 25 was going to be my year. And heck, we still have
But
6
heck,
more
there's
months
still
of
more time to go, you
25.
guys. We also got a minute left on the thing, so just
Okay, anyway,
think about that.
that's kind of where I'm at. And this was a very honest, raw podcast.
It's been raw. It's been real.
It's been raw and real. And I just want to thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, if you made it
and-
all through the way of this one, oh my God, good for you guys.
I hope
Stay
that
blessed.
even though we talked about heavy things, it just made you feel something and connected to someone and let you know that you're not alone. And tell the people you love that you love them,
Yeah.
and apologize to the people who you've hurt. And honestly, continue showing up for people, sometimes if they don't even show up for you, because you won't regret that.
And they might need it too.
And they might need it too.
All right. Stay
Anyway.
blessed.
FIFA full fun, bitches. Thanks for that one. We're driving SF.